morning. Good morning. Let me cross over these lanes. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. I finally lost some of my voice on yesterday. I seemed to be okay Sunday, but then yesterday it was just like, but I could feel in my throat that it was going to happen. But anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Tuesday, the 29th, right? Yeah, the 29th. Today's Tuesday, the 29th. School has started back for certain counties. Not my county yet. They start next, is it Monday? I'm assuming the 4th. Sophia goes back on the 4th. It's like, dang, that's still summertime. You know, if we in New York, we used to go back after Labor Day. So that's sad for them, but also good for them / good for me. But yes. So how was you guys this weekend? Did you get any sleep, any rest? I hope so. I hope y'all had a good time. I hope y'all got some sleep and some rest or whatever it is you was needing and wanting to get. As you know, I had my family reunion this weekend, which was one for the books. It was a success. We had a blast. And my voice is finally like, I need some rest. So even though I should be probably shutting the hell up right now, I just wanted to come to y'all because I knew it would be quite some days before I would see y'all again since I brought it up last week. But yeah, we had a good old time. Everything went off without a hitch. We partied all night, all weekend, all day. And that's it. Okay? Checks all the family reunion boxes. And I love seeing my people. I had a good old time. Oh my goodness. We had a time last night. But yeah, I had a good old family reunion this weekend. So much fun, much love to the Wilson tribe, clan, crew, clique, late night crew, cracking me up as usual. All the drama. I won't get into it. I'll let family business stay in the family. But it was funny, but it wasn't funny. But it was funny. But anyway, yeah, so I had a good weekend. I don't want to go on and on and on and say too much talking because I just do need to be quiet, at least for a day. But like I said, I still want to come up here. But let's just cover real quick what I was able to catch, or not sure if I got a chance to really talk about. I don't remember. And right now my subject game is just not on point because I had a lot on my mind before the family reunion. Of course, during I couldn't find my. Let me tell y'all something. We had a talent show. We had a talent show on Saturday at the park, and my talent was every 20 minutes I can't find my phone. I mean, it was epic talent. Epic talent. I could every 15, 20 minutes I kept saying, "Where's my phone?" And I kept getting the whole family involved. I don't know where my phone is. I don't know what's going on. I could not keep on my phone all weekend. I was like, I don't know where it is. The only time I had it was when I was using it to film or to make like to do videos or to take pictures, and then I would put it down and then it would be gone. At one point it was just gone. My cousin grabbed it out of my car and he was gone for like an hour some change. I was like, I don't know. And I'm like, I just got this phone. But yeah, that was my talent was my ability to not be able to keep up with my phone. Pure talent, clearly. Was something. But yeah, so that was funny. But we played red light, green light. We played that jumping. I keep calling it a jumping game. I don't know. You put tape on the bottom. What's up, killer? You put tape on the bottom, and then you jump. I kept seeing it on like social media. I said, I'm bringing tape so we can play that game. We played Plinko, which is from like The Price is Right. It's a Plinko game. Then we played red light, green light. Then we had a dance contest. Anyway, I had a good old time. I had a good time. But I seen a couple of people, to change the subject, I seen a couple of people talking about how we're not going to try to damage Hulk Hogan's reputation because he died. We're not going to damage it. He don't need no help damaging his reputation. He did that on his own. 10 years ago today, he called me a nigga. ER. Okay? 10 years later, he drops dead. Peace out, Hulk. We did love you. There was a time we loved you. There was a time. Things changed. Clearly, we didn't know that that's how you felt. And since you feel that way, or you did, see, you used to feel that way. Now you don't feel a damn thing. Okay? Peace. It don't matter. Okay? Sorry to the Hulk. Sorry to that man. Okay? But another one bites the dust. It's not needed. It's not needed. You know what I mean? It's giving trade. We'll take the Malcolm Jamal and want to trade is what I'll do. And nobody need all that. It can be assumed that you feel that way anyway, but for you to go ahead on record and say it just because your boy, just whatever. Sir, we know about Hulkamania and all that good stuff, but we also know what we know now. Your lasting impression with me is definitely giving, I don't give a damn who he fought. The Iron Sheik, Andre the Giant, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I didn't know you felt that way. And now that I do, yeah, good riddance. It is what it is. So, but yeah, that's that. Then you got Shannon Sharp paying that girl $23 million. That's a high price. That is a high price, okay? It's too much. And it's like, do anybody have that girl's number? Because I'm not asking for I don't need millions. I just need a couple of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, she said, forget OnlyFans. I need, going to the house, okay? Cash my check and I'm going to the house. And I ain't mad at her. You know what I mean? It's always going to be your fault. The situation we all find ourselves in right now is a result of all of our decisions. It's a cumulative result of all of the decisions we have made. Okay? Good or bad. You reap what you sow. And at some point, no matter what was sown on your behalf by somebody, a parent, a teacher, or anything like that, once you become an adult, it is your responsibility to unsow things that are not going to work for you. That doesn't happen for everybody. No, it's not easy. And trust me, I know. And all things are easier said than done. Okay? It's easy for me to talk about being on live than it is for me to actually push the button and use the energy to be on live. Okay? But can you do it? Yes. I'm the kind of person that, I don't make a lot of excuses for myself, and as a result, I don't want to hear other people's excuses. I don't have time. So, yeah, Shannon, you take the $23 million L and try to figure out a way to make that money back, or, work with the money you have or that you have. But that's your problem. And now it's it was her solution, which she allowed to become your problem, and then you allowed it to become your problem. So you down by 23 mil, let's move on. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But it's a shame that kind of money could be taken out of the black community, which, his part in the community is questionable because of his willingness to do some bullshit like this anyway. But $23 million out the black community just to some little white girl. What? You know what that money could have been used for? And it's sad because that money was never going to be used for what it could be used for. But instead, we all have to watch it go out the door to somebody who gets to just be like, I'm glad I don't have to show my cat no more. What? Okay. Whatever. You know what I mean? So that's that. And that's why there's no reason to feel bad or feel anything. You just talk about it and you move on. I'd like to think he's in a position to make his money back. And if he does make it back, good for him. If he doesn't, too bad for him. And, next case. What's next on the docket? Because don't nobody have time. Now, I did see, I've been noticing is what I'll say, a lot of talk about boys and girls and education. Okay, and how boys are not going to college at the rate that they, number one, used to, or at the rate that girls used to. And people are trying to ask about why. And it's like, listen, the truth of the matter is boys are conditioned to believe to not be girls. Girls do this, girls do that. Pink, blue. Okay. And then women had all types of laws built up against them where they could not participate in anything economic wise, okay? That's the truth. Once those laws got lifted, and of course we're still working on them, once they cracked the door open for women to be able to participate in the economy, women kicked the door down. Women are still kicking the door down, okay? So now, there's this idea where education is for girls, and of course, because boys are brought up and told to believe this is a girl thing, now education is a girl thing. And a piece of proof of that you can see without even having to look anything up is our teachers. There are not a lot of male teachers from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, even in college. Even in college, I had male teachers, but it was not enough. There was mostly women teachers, mostly women in education. And so it's not a thing where girls are being pushed. Girls are not being pushed to do anything. Okay? Girls are simply, the law simply has been changed. That's all. It wasn't a push that was like, okay, now girls go do this. What happens is women support each other. Women support each other. And men discourage each other to do things that girls are doing. This is a fact. This is a fact. And if you have been alive at any point on this earth, there's no way that you don't know that that's true. See, this Kona, I ain't got time for this Hyundai. You scared. Anyway, and so girls are not being pushed to do anything. Girls literally still have shit, and women still have shit in place that's still stopping us from being prosperous the way that we should be able to be. There isn't any laws that stop men from doing anything, participating in any way, not even including their bodies. Women still don't have full autonomy over their bodies. You know what I mean? And so when I'm looking at that, it's just trippy that nobody wants to deal with the misogyny of it all. And that misogyny is the reason why boys feel like they shouldn't do this, or this is for girls. You know what I mean? And then they allow themselves to believe that girls are being pushed to do this, girls have more support than men. That will never be true in this United States. The men say it. The world was built by men for men. So the question has to become, you have to be able to ask, so how is it possible that even me making 82 cents on a dollar still puts me as the breadwinner in my house? How is it that only 50 years ago I can have a bank account, but I got more money in my bank than you? I don't have an answer, but I can make an educated guess. I can go ahead and peel back the layers. I can choose to live in a reality that says that either misogyny is so bad that you could give it up and make a change, or it's not bad enough that all that complaining works for you. You can sit around and complain about it, or you can make the change. But it's like seeing something. You know how they say you can't unsee certain things? That's a fact. That's a fact. And once you accept certain truths, whether it's about misogyny, relationships, who you are, who your children are, when you accept that, there's no going back. The hard part is having to accept and do the work that allows you to be able to function with that truth. Okay? You got to do the work. There's no getting around it. And if you don't do it, you suffer for those consequences of not doing what needs to be done. Those are the answers. Whether you like the answers and the options or not, that's the answer. You're either going to do the work, or you get to complain about the work that you refuse to do. But what's the standard, whether it's a good standard, a bad standard, whether it's not right, it's stupid, all of that stays in place. All of that stays in place, and whether you choose to do the work or not will always be on you. We are the results. Our life right now is the result of all of the choices we've made. And that's just it. I'm still out here trying to make good choices, okay? I'm trying. You know what I mean? And it's still not always easy because ain't nobody got time. I'm tired, okay? I'm tired. We live in capitalistic America. And that's another thing, too, where it's like, let's not pretend that we don't know the kind of... We live in capitalistic America. You got to participate in capitalism on some level in order to be able to prosper, have money, be comfortable, whatever the hell you want to call it. You know what I mean? But you got to be willing to participate in it. And that's just the bottom line. You know what I mean? But being pissed off that's the way it is doesn't matter. Nobody cares that you're pissed. Nobody cares that you think it's unfair. It isn't fair. It's fucked up, actually. Jacked up. Let me back in. I'm gonna park under the what's the name? Because they said it's gonna be 1,000 degrees today. All right. So let me see. I got a good amount. Look at me. It's on a Tuesday. But yeah. So boys are socialized to be a certain way, and girls are socialized to be a certain way. And so there's a lot of conversation that goes on about women are like divorcing men at a 70% rate while simultaneously telling you well, that's why you're going to be single and die with a cat. Right. So maybe it's time to unpack why women are leaving at 70%. Maybe it's time to unpack why women are leaving at 80% when they have a degree. Right? When you ask a lot of men about having a degree or education, they'll say things like, you're not working in the field, you're still not making money, now you have debt, right? And for some people that have degrees, that's true, right? But then it's also still true for you, right? It's still true for you. But what I have is a coming of age experience that allows me to be way more motivated than you. And again, proof of that is the so-called male loneliness epidemic, the fact that more women are breadwinners, the fact that more women do have education. You know what I mean? That's the proof. That's the proof. The question is, what is anyone going to do about it? Anyone that has a problem with it, what are you going to do about it? What are you willing to do about it? Maybe there's nothing to do. Maybe complaining is just something you're willing to do, and that's it. And that's okay if that works for you. But I would encourage all humans to be encouraging independence, learning how to take care of yourself. You know, I don't like Corey Holcomb at all, and I really wish we could switch him out for Malcolm Jamal Warner, to be honest. The delegation does not need him. But he's saying things like, and I saw this a while ago, but it just came back on my feed, which is why I'm even bringing the topic up. But it came back on my feed when he's saying, like, that's why I only deal with women in poverty, because women in poverty can't leave you. They can't talk shit, and they can't leave. They have a need, and I have a need, and they can't tell me to fuck off. Women that have more money, women that make money, I can't do nothing with them, because they could talk smack to you. They can leave. The comments is going crazy saying he's spitting facts. Well, you know what? There is something factual about that. But there's something extremely sad about his position there. You know what I mean? Clearly he hates women. He has a problem with women, just generally. You know what I mean? And that's his problem to deal with. Nobody should be spending any time trying to convince a man or a woman, but particularly a man, because that's what I'm talking about, who to hate, who to like, what they need to do, what they should think. Do whatever. And the result of you doing whatever is what it is. That's my biggest message all the time. Do whatever you want. And if the price is going to be good that you pay, excellent. You're going to get a discount, good for you. If the price is going to be high, you got to come up off some stuff, that's the price. That's a part of the price. It is what it is. But the idea of discouraging women to not do something or teach young girls about, we're not going back to any of those times. It's not going to happen. Okay? In the economy, most people cannot live by themselves. And for everybody who's able to do it, kudos. People try to make it seem like, why are we giving people props for something they should do as an adult? Because most adults can't fucking do it. That's why. That's why. That's why you could give a cookie and clap for whoever is doing something that, yeah, you should be able to do it, but a lot of y'all motherfuckers can't, and you don't, and you're not. And that's why people want cookies given to them, or say, I have this going on, I'm independent. Like, why you gotta scream you're independent? Why can't I scream it? I live in capitalistic, bragging America. I've grown up in America. I'm a part of trying to get fresh, trying to be cute, trying to stunt. That's the American way. It's just that when women do it, that's what adults do. No, adults don't do that shit. That's not true. I know plenty of adults not doing a whole bunch of shit that adults could be or should be doing. We all know them. So when an adult does brag, or it seems like they're bragging, or what I would like to consider proud of themselves, people feel a certain way. And it's their feeling to have. They get to feel that way. It's a personal feeling. And I don't discourage that feeling. I think they should focus on something else, yes. But trying to discourage me from bigging myself up will always be a problem you got. You can't discourage me to do something for me. Because that's literally what I'm talking about here. If you're busy doing something for you, you ain't got to worry about what somebody else is doing. Somebody else put this on their page the other day, like, after 40, what should you no longer be doing? After 40, you should not be worried about what somebody else that's 40 is doing. Don't worry about, like, she 47, she shouldn't be doing this. No. You're 47, and you shouldn't be worried about what the hell I'm doing. You should have enough going on and enough on your plate where it doesn't even occur to you what I'm doing. Unless I'm putting it out to you. If I put my business out, then I can say if I want, mind your business, but come on. That's crazy. You know what I mean? I can't have you mind your business while simultaneously putting you in my business. But that's something that people haven't grasped either. People haven't grasped that concept either, but hopefully they're working on it. Y'all drinking water? I gotta find out about your water intake. I drink so much water. Yesterday and Sunday, I don't know if there was any water left. I kept checking the sink to make sure that I at least had some tap. Because I drank all the water. Okay? That wasn't all I was drinking, but Lord knows. But, yeah, so ultimately, we have to make it a point as a society to normalize telling our boys everything is for everybody. Education is for everybody. It's just a lot of things that they try to point is for women or for girls, and it's just not true. It's just not true, and the proof is right there. You could see the proof either with your eyes and your experience, you could see it with somebody else's experience, or you can actually look it up and see how it's been measured. Okay? And that's going to give you even a better idea of how many more people are experiencing this. Not just where you live, statewide, countrywide, around the globe. Okay? Boys are absolutely brought up to believe that they are separate. Even that shows when you have a family function, and not my family function, but on a family function, all the men will exclude themselves and go somewhere and do something. It's fine, but then there's not a male loneliness epidemic. You can't have a male loneliness epidemic and exclude yourself when you're in situations where you're supposed to be social. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you can't have it both ways. And the gaslighting, it's up to you to decide if you allow yourself to be gaslit. But if your eyes are open and you can hear and you have any level of comprehension, if a man goes anywhere, if a group of men are anywhere where women are, and they decide they don't want to be around because women are there, or they don't feel like talking about what the women are talking about, okay, well, you could fellowship with the fellas, but your topics are going to be limited because that's what y'all choose. You have to choose something else. And this is heavy lifting that women can't do for you because, again, you're busy trying to always exclude yourself from what women are doing. Women have laid down the blueprint of what it looks like to work hard, and it doesn't mean men haven't. But what I'm saying here is there's an idea about society and men and women and what they do that isn't true. And I'll say it again. If men were protectors, we would not be in the situation we're in right now as a country. You just whittle it down to the country. If men were protectors naturally, there's no fucking way that we would be in the situation we in as a country. It's not true. It's not true. If men were naturally protectors, then I whittle it down from there. If men were naturally protectors, oh man, then you bring it down to race. Then black women would not be getting unalived at every 4.5 hours daily. That wouldn't be happening. That wouldn't be happening. That means you're going against your natural instinct to protect, and instead, you getting your Jason on. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. So, it's not natural. Okay? Just like monogamy isn't natural. You have to go against your true instinct to be monogamous. Monogamy is simply a verbal contract of discipline, which is why it's broken all the time. If it comes naturally to you, then you would do it all the time. We would have more examples of how things that come naturally is just the way it is. But it does not come naturally. Most people, when it comes to that, are working against their natural instinct. It's easier for women to do it because women are brought up to do it. So now they have it in their mind that this is natural, or this is just how it is for me. No. It's just how it is for anybody who's trained up in that way. Men are not trained up in that way. Okay? It's just like the concept of men are socialized to tell women that if they got too many bodies, then the woman is trash for having too many bodies. Yet men think that how is there value in men if me sleeping with all of y'all makes me trash? It's the gaslighting for me. Either you're valuable, because if you're valuable, anytime you come to me, then I'm getting value, right? I'm getting value. If men are valuable, I'm getting value every time men come around. But if men are saying, no, every time you let men in, your value goes down, that's because you are the non-value. You're the factor that brings my value down. Yet, if I sleep with you, I'm a whore, and if I don't, I'm a prude, and I'm grown, and all of that. And so it goes back to my original point of being socialized to believe a certain thing and then later complaining or feeling like, well, I don't understand. The bottom line is the patriarchy and misogyny hurts everybody. Everybody gets hurt. Everybody gets hurt from that. Okay? Everybody gets hurt because it's an incredible amount of pressure on men to be able to provide, protect, when number one, like I said, that goes against their nature. It's not true. Women are leaders, which is why most women households are run by women. And there's an expectation that women will run a household because we're the leader. You want to be head of a household that you want me to run. I don't know. It's the gaslighting for me. If you're going to be head of household, then you need to do the cooking and cleaning and the child rearing, whether I go to work or not. So personally, like I said, I'm not going to participate in an idea that goes against another idea. I don't have time for that. I'm going to participate in what works for me. Okay? And that's it. So I actively like to deprogram ideas that clearly don't make any sense and that I have absolute proof of, not only through my own experience, but the experience of others, as well as statistics, to say that doesn't make any sense. And I choose to no longer participate in an idea where there's not a clear path for success. There's only supposed to be confusion, which keeps you at a place where you don't know what the hell to do. You're not sure. You don't know what you want to believe about that. I know that at 47, I can't be led, for instance. Not in a way where as if I'm in my 20s, 30s trying to build a life. I've built a certain life for myself at this point. Whatever that is, whatever that looks like, I've built that. So no one gets to come in my life and then lead that anywhere other than the direction that I'm already on. It's too late. It's too late. You know what I mean? So that's that. And so at my big age, there's certain things that it's like, why are we still talking about this? We need to be somewhere else within that topic. We need to be further along than you asking me to submit, because no one has ever given an answer to submit to. Again, men are being trained and led to believe that there's this submission going on and there's this leadership thing going, and it's crazy because because y'all not even in school. Because you believe what? You're going to have debt? You got debt anyway. So now you have debt and no education. Make it make sense. Okay, school costs, and you say all these women, yeah, all our women might be educated, but you in debt. Yeah, but you're also in debt and you have no education. Make it make sense. Get in my comments and make it make sense. Help me understand. Because it doesn't mean that I'm absolutely like, what I'm saying isn't law. It's law for me. I'm the boss in my own world. And I have paid the cost. And I will continue to pay the cost because don't nobody control me. Okay? And it'll always be my suggestion and recommendation and motivation to you. So don't let nobody control you. Nobody's stuck anywhere. And if you are stuck, I know it's only for a little while. You only stay stuck because you choose to stay stuck. Again, everything in your life right now is based on every choice you've ever made. The choices that got made for you. And then as you become an adult, it's up to you. It's up to you to find even playing field. You ain't got you need to do work, whatever the work is. But yeah, boys are socialized a certain way, girls are socialized a certain way, and as a result, they believe there's this gender war. It's not a gender war. There's not a gender war, and there's not a male loneliness epidemic. It is simply laws that got lifted up that allowed women to participate, and men was just like, and they're still standing there with their mouth open and can't believe it. I was told by a man to slow down, and why do I have to do all of this? That's what I was told by a man. Well, how come what I already have isn't enough for me? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going to go back and forth about the shit I got planned for my life. But it was sad to hear. It was sad to hear because it was just kind of like, you don't want more, but you need more. Okay. You want more, but you don't want what more takes. Listen, I don't want what more takes. I would love to be able to collect any check and just chill. Oh shit. I'm late. Thanks, boo. Anyway, as you can see, I could go on and on and on. And if you know me, you know it don't take much. Listen, y'all have a good day. Today's Tuesday. Don't let nobody piss you off. I'm going to do the same. Okay? I'm going to be quiet for the rest of the day so I can get the rest of my voice back so I can be yelling when I need to. 802. All right. Y'all go ahead and I'm going to go ahead. Y'all have a good one today. And I will see y'all. I'm going to try to get back with y'all Friday. I'm going to try to come to work Friday. I think I'm going to do half day Friday. So we'll see about that though. All right.